All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Richard.lesperance. I go by the name of my man, Richard. Welcome to A Better Lifestyle. Today, I have the pleasure to have Hilda Fainsod with me. So, welcome, Hilda, to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
It's my pleasure. So, tell everybody who is Hilda Fainsod.
Well, I'm a mom of two. I'm a top executive leadership coach. I'm an author. I wrote a book in Spanish because I'm from Mexico, and I do have a book in English because I want to go global and to touch different cultures. I'm passionate about life and transformation. I'm committed to not only support executives to achieve results, but also to get this fulfilling life where they can do and perform the best. I love to travel. So I know your country, and I was in other countries also because I enjoy it very much. I love reading and have conversation with others, and my work is to support others towards success. I work with top executives in different countries, national and international, and I have the privilege to see and to witness transformation. So when I saw your podcast, it was like, okay, this is a whole lifestyle that I built so many years and that I'm committed to build with others.
Okay. So, tell us a little bit about your story and your journey.
Yeah, I was a trainer. I have an educational career. So I was a trainer and I began to share my knowledge in soft skills. And I train maybe in solving problems, but also in managing time and in building teams and how to be a facilitator. So I did that. And I went to a conference in the US, and for the first time, 20 years ago, maybe 22 years ago, I found coaching. So I took a training in coaching. I came back to my country and delivered the training. And I was in a holiday with my daughter. At that age, she was like 20, and I asked her what she wanted for the next year. And she asked me back. And when she did that, I began with this marvelous reflection about, okay, I love coaching. Why I'm not a coach? I only train in coaching other executives. And I decided to begin a journey 20 years ago, 10 certifications after that, thousands of hours with top executive. And I love transformation because I began with myself to understand that it's not the same what you need here than what get you there. If you want to improve, you need to increase more capacities, to learn more, to be more prepared, to do better, to define a future, and to work to that. We have a future self that we can build. So I began 20 years ago with myself. And I love to share that with top executives to improve their journey and to allow them to reflect who do they want to become. And after that, to support them in this journey.
Isn't it funny sometimes how life can take you from to different places where you didn't think that you would end up, especially when you start your career and your journey in the professional field.
Totally, I agree with you, Richard. It's like 20 years ago, if I wanted to imagine the life I'm gonna live now, it's okay. That's so amazing, and that's important. That is so big too. So it sounds powerful, but I couldn't imagine as big and as relevant in my life as today, because no one knows who the future self is going to be. We think in a few years I'm going to have more gray hair and more wrinkles, and that's it. But we don't know who are going to become. And that happened to me in COVID time because I decided it was the perfect moment to finally write a book. And I did. So I didn't have an author career. And now I do have two. And I didn't have digital course career. And now I'm building on that. So it is funny, very much.
And it is also interesting to see, to reflect on. Sometimes we think we know who we are, like the things we like and the skills that we have. But as we go through life, sometimes we discover sometimes new skills that we didn't know that we had inside of us.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? What do you think about that?
And also challenges. The challenges that we face are a responsibility to build on new capabilities. Of course, now I don't know how to promote a book, but finally, with time and effort and a conversation with others and learning and exploring and practicing and taking some steps, I will know in the future. So the big challenges, the goals that we create for us are a commitment to learn different and to do more.
For someone who's thinking is considering of changing a career path, a career change, what would you say to them?
Yeah, the first thing is a conversation with the person, with himself, with herself, a conversation about what matters to you in this season of life. What do you want? What do you like? Because it's not the same what we want when we had 20 or 30 or 40, and it's not the same in the 50s, 60s, and plus. So in every season, we want different. So the first recommendation is to sit with yourself with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, whatever it allows you to reflect and to think what matters to you and who do you want to become. You want to be a better leader, a better husband, a better wife, a better executive. You want to improve yourself, to have a new sideline business, to develop a hobby, and to get money because of it. So, what do you want? And what matters to you? Because what matters to you is the first step to begin to develop what you need in order to become in the future the person that you want. And I do have another secret. There's no an overnight success. It's not that today I decided and tomorrow I will explode and I will have the best. No, this is a path. This is a journey. And it builds itself with step by step actions. So the first thing is to understand what you want. And after that, to think as a process, not a shortcut, not quick solutions, because we love it. When we decide something, we want to feed again in my pants. I want to exercise once and to be a habit forever, and that's not gonna happen.
So the one thing that could stop people from making that change a lot of time is the risk of failure because they don't know what's going to happen and they don't know if it's going to turn out okay if they're
Oh
going
yeah.
to win. So What do you have to say about that?
Yeah,
Plus also too, if they were doing a good income, they might have to downgrade their income, and that could be really,
yeah,
like, tough mentally. So
yeah, yeah,
how do you process that?
yeah. There are two answers here. And the first is we have two minds, the one that survive and the one that thrive. And usually when we want to change, the survival mode of our brain stop us and prevent us from change. And if we want a big, big goal, it prevents us a lot. So we need to stop our inner dialogue because this voice is going to say, come on, Hilda, do you think you can accomplish that? You don't know anything about digital products. I mean, writing a book in English, you are Mexican. Why in English? So tough. So we have this inner voice that protects us, but usually generates frustration, anger, anxiety, this uncomfortability that we feel. So we need to be aware and to catch the inner voice and to cancel it because it's only fear. Fear of what price I need to pay, fear of failure, fear of uncomfortability, fear of not knowing, all those fears. So I need to stop. And there are three C's. The first one is to catch it, awareness. The second is to cancel it. I don't have time and I don't want to deal with that. I will go and thrive. And the third one is to remember our capabilities. So the three C's can help us when we want a big change to stop our fear and to go step by step, small steps. Doesn't alert your brain that we want to change. So a big goal, we need to chunk it into pieces. It's not um, I told you before I ran a marathon and 42 kilometers sounds so huge. But you need to think that you need to run today and tomorrow and the other day also and the next week and the next 4 or 5 or 6 months. And you put mileage in your feet. And that is the way of chunking a big goal. And after that, with training and steps and practices and all that, you are going to achieve what you want and you are going to make it in the finish line.
One thing that is important sometimes that people don't have is support around them, and sometimes it's hard for them to move forward, and they feel alone in the journey. So, what would you say about that?
Yeah, I can say a lot. We fear that we cannot accomplish. We fear that we are not enough and we don't know. So we need to find support. But we began, when we want to change, we began like, I can do it. I can do it this time. I'm accomplishing this time because I do have today the motivation and I will do that. And suddenly life happens and you wanted to go to the gym and you have a tough morning, so you couldn't make it, and you begin to discourage yourself and to stop. So to go and find a coach and a mentor or an accountability partner or all of them to support you in this journey, allow you not to stop. And if you go down with your commitment, a coach can identify and allow you to go back and to put yourself into track. So don't believe we can by ourselves do everything because it's not that way.
Uh,
Because we have challenges and a whole life.
How could someone deal with critics? Because sometimes, like, you might take a decision, a direction that most people don't take. Everybody's going one way, and you decide to go another way, and people are be starting to critic. And so, how does someone can deal with that
Yeah,
so that doesn't crush them?
yeah, that is a very good question. The first thing is to listen to your inner voice and to decide what part of your brain are you going to listen. The one that puts you outside of changes because it's a survival brain, or the one that thrives. And the same to do with friends and family and coworkers and everyone that says, "Are you crazy? What are you going to do that? There are so many books outside and you are going to write again. There are so many millions of books in Amazon and you want to go through that. Why are you going to do to yourself that?" So when you listen at that, you need to decide which voice are you going to pay attention to. The one that stops you inside or outside, or the one that will take you to the finish line.
What do you say to people who think that it's too late for them to make a change because of their age?
Oh gosh, Colonel Sanders and the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and there are so many examples, Winston Churchill, so many examples that people after 50, 60, 70 years they accomplish. It's not late when you want to create something can make a difference for you, for your family, for the community, for everyone. So it's not late. Late is because you don't want to achieve that commitment. So late is an excuse to yourself because it's never late. And the more you use your brain, the more it works.
What would you say to someone who's at a crossroad of self-reflection and they're trying to make a decision or the right decision in regards to their career and they might feel like maybe it's time to change? What would you say?
Yeah. I know. I don't know, Richard, if the right decision comes first, because sometimes we are not prepared for the right decision, and sometimes we don't know different from the routine that we created so many years. But the first thing is to take one step. Okay, you want to do that. Begin to explore. Only explore. What is it? How is it? Ask ChatGPT, ask Google, what is it? Begin conversation with others, find friends that are doing something like that, and begin to walk with the idea. And finally, you are better equipped to make that good decision. But it's a for step process. You build so many habits and it took so much. So you need to understand this is going to take time too. But if you walk today and tomorrow and the other day and you keep walking, you are going to accomplish it. Not in the short run, but yes, in the middle and long run.
You have a book. Talk to us about the book. What the book is all about.
Yeah, Power Up is my book, is my recent one, is in English, and Power Up talk about what gets in your way. It begins with this awareness of how difficult it is to change. And it is difficult because it takes a lot of time and energy. And you need to deal with uncomfortability because you don't know what is new for you. You only knew what you did in the past. So the book talks about saboteurs and how to overcome barriers, and talks about a process of defining who do you want to become and to walk towards that future step by step, not only in a practice that you can sustain for enough repetitions that it will stick. So that's Power Up, and is an invitation of 30-day challenge. And the 30-day is not that you are going to transform yourself, but it's like you begin the path. There is also a belief that in 20 days, 21 days, you can change a habit. And that's not true, because maybe in sports and in a diet and in organizing and in learning something, you walk 20 days and you did. And if you don't keep on day 22 and 3 and 4 and all that, is not going to stay with you. So transformation is because it's thick enough to be part of your lifestyle.
Is the book available on Amazon?
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's an executive roadmap to transforming life and business. So it applies a lot to personal and clients' examples in personal life, and also to build business and to reinvent yourself.
Okay. Do you have other books, or is just that one?
I do have in Spanish one, and it's Buen Camino. And Buen Camino is 7 steps to go to a next level. A next level in life is whatever you define: a new business, a new way of being as a leader, as a friend, as a spouse.
Okay.
7 steps.
Okay. So you have two books in total, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I hope in the future to write more, because I love the exercise of writing, and it creates a bigger impact than to work one-on-one. I do love the one-on-one process in coaching. Here is a different approach to impact in a bigger scale.
Where can people learn more about you and follow you?
Yeah, they can go to www.hildafainsod.com, and they can go to Instagram and LinkedIn. Hilda Fainsod is the profile, and they can read my books. And I love to read reviews, and I do have those podcasts with different people, so they can listen and reflect what's next for them, because we have a lot of things to create in life.